I opened this farm in 1972 when I was working with the Malawi Young Pioneers, the youth movement of this country. And we were told to be involved in farming. So I took advantage of opening this farm. The major crop was tobacco. 3/4 of my land, 209 hectares, was used to grow tobacco. But due to conditions, now I'm only
1 or 2 hectares.
1 or 2 hectares,
Yeah.
gone down.
How do we help a country of 19 million people? It's been at the bottom of every socioeconomic indicator for 20 years. And with all the resources that have been poured in, we haven't gotten it right. So I think this is an opportunity for the Foundation, the Agricultural Transformation Initiative, to help us collectively move to a new paradigm.
This is the most tobacco-dominated economy among its neighbours. Therefore, it's the one that most needs to change. It's the one that is looking on the horizon with the challenges ahead, that something has to change, something has to be made different to have an impact on the future.
This is a really good time to be having this discussion about diversifying away from tobacco into other crops. I think that farmers are ready. It's a great opportunity to look at how do we address these impediments that have made smallholder farmers stick to tobacco. Because they're not sticking to tobacco just because they want to stick to tobacco, but it's because it's the one that's giving them the highest value.
The main problem that Malawi has is the structure of the economy. The export base is too narrow, emphasizing or mainly dependent on tobacco, which contributes 60% of the export earnings.
This is a slowly dying industry, and we need to prepare for the inevitable, and the inevitable is that the incomes from tobacco will decline. They are declining, and the farmers can feel the pinch.
I think in general, people have been stuck in an old paradigm, and I think with the arrival of the Foundation, the Agricultural Transformation Initiative, it's given people some ideas of thinking outside the box, using technology, evidence-based research to help farmers increase their productivity and yields, because ultimately that's going to make the difference in bringing people out of poverty.
As an economist and as a researcher, my interest is to see there's an initiative to talk about that issue head-on, but at the same time without jeopardizing the livelihoods of people who rely on it.
Luckily, we're getting a healthier world, but people don't understand the unintended consequences of that, which is there's farmers that actually grow tobacco. So providing opportunities for them in a world that's sort of passing them by was an opportunity to bring all the experiences of the last really 25 years of my career to bear. So to bring good people together, to build a team, to deploy resources, and to work with people who are fantastic. And the most important people in that equation are the smallholder farmers.
When people in Malawi hear about the Foundation for a Smoke-Free World, before understanding what it is, it's like, oh, you want us to stop growing tobacco. Our agenda is to promote alternatives.
So in the next 2 days, we are going to have an opportunity to glimpse into the future, look at possibilities for agricultural transformation. I'm looking forward to hearing your comments, your discussions, your solutions.
Farming is not just a way of living. Farming is business, but without any alternative. We are just doing farming as a sake of life, not as business.
According to statistics, Malawi generally is failing to attract youth into the agricultural sector, and that's on an aggregate, whether it's tobacco, whether it's other value chains. So we are hoping to change that around, and one of our goals is to excite the youth to join the agricultural sector.
As a country, we need a new generation of farmers
who will be open to the idea of trying new crops and other farm enterprises other than just tobacco.
The youth happen to have an advantage strategically because they are a bit fearless as compared to older generations which tend to be risk-averse. And as a result, they have embraced technology much more faster than the older generation. So we need a new generation of farmers to drive this agricultural transformation agenda.
Almost 40% of young people who have finished their education, they're looking for employment. They can't find employment, but we are still exporting raw products. Why don't we invest seriously in value addition so that we can also be absorbing those young people who are looking for employment?
After finishing university, I stayed 2 years without finding a job. That's when I made a decision that I have to invest in agribusiness as my full-time job.
Tobacco is something that's been structured. It's a structured ecosystem, in effect. There are inputs, there's technology, and of course there's markets. And so the question is, why doesn't that happen with any other commodity?
We are looking for value addition facilities, equipment that can help us also to reach the good market, that can help us also to export our products. We need resources. That's why we are here.
You have to address issues of policy. You have to address issues of education and science. Being part of the 21st century means you have to embrace technologies and you have to be part of a wired economy. And largely, Africa's been left behind in that. But the good part of that story is that they're quickly catching up.
The core idea behind the Center of Excellence is to identify technologies that can really change the lives of smallholders by increasing their incomes, and then putting those technologies and those products and services into the hands of the private sector so they can be scaled up and distributed to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of smallholders in Malawi and the Southern Africa region.
One of the things that one can have as an aspiration for this center is that it starts to give a voice to those who haven't had one, these experts and wise men of the land who haven't had the tools to express their knowledge effectively. And the technology vector is only one that is supposed to accelerate their opportunities, not create a differentiating factor that is solely to the purpose of more value being extracted from the country.
We're very excited. This is such a unique opportunity, not just to transform lives, but to do it with meaningful partnerships across academia, private sector, government, and so forth. And we're just looking forward to working with so many farmers in Malawi.
Malawi, it provides an ideal environment to start this conversation. There's so much talent, there's so much energy and this vibrancy of the young people to kickstart the process of agricultural transformation.
My goal is to take out the smallholder farmer from the field to the greenhouse where he can grow high-value vegetables that are going to earn him more money than what he's earning outside.
What is unique about this particular program is what I call in-country activity. People are providing solutions based on what they see on the ground. And together, we can now come up with a possible way forward.
We are focusing on smallholder farmers with 2 to 20 hectares of land because we have seen that this is the most challenged group of farmers and they are the ones that can bring transformation in Malawi.
This platform is probably one of the first that has come up where people in the private sector, in the public sector, as well as the farmers themselves are all coming together and sharing this knowledge. I spoke to one of the farmers and he said, I didn't know that these opportunities exist.
We went to Krempa, the creamery, and we met with the local farmers. We were able to see the folks in the village and meet the children, and we met representatives from all 8 zones who came for the ceremony. It was very powerful. We have committed $50,000 grant, and we do think that this will help them with their expansion. I think that we need more. We are the stewards of that grant, and we have a huge responsibility to make sure that we're spending the money wisely and that we are holding the grantees accountable.
We have to be able to listen to those who are living the challenges. So it doesn't make sense for anybody to come into a neighborhood where they don't live or a city or state where they don't live and pretend to tell those folks how they need to live. It's a dialogue.
Everybody knows that in Malawi, most of the labor is women. But when it comes to making decisions around farming is men. We need to get women having those conversations about ourselves.
Watu kuno ndebodza sanami mabungwe osatifikira. Odi dikhozogarula nkhawa zathu kumbali ya ulimi kulibe. Chifukwa padakakhala ngati mwachitsanzo kapena ngati palili ngati pa trading vaja kuti pali kabungwe kena kake mwina tithomapita kumene kujako nkumakasiya mavuto yathu koma ayi timangokhala amopelewera momwemo tichiteko timaganyu basi tipezeko kakhobidi tipange mmene moyo ufunira basi umankhala moyo odandaula omwe uri basi.
That's why this summit is very important, because we as Malawians, and again, I think as Africans generally, would like to make sure that we are co-creators of initiatives on the ground.
I think the coming of a Smoke-Free World Foundation to Malawi is an incredible thing. Malawi, despite being obviously blessed with huge natural agricultural resources, and maybe because it's blessed with so much, has struggled to direct those resources, I think, traditionally in a strategic manner.
If you look at the past, we've had 40 or 50 years of failure in the donor community to kind of make significant differences and have a positive impact on so many people's lives.
The energy and the new ideas that the foundation and the Agricultural Transformation Initiative are bringing are overdue, and I think people are excited by the possibilities and new ideas of working collaboratively together to achieve better outcomes for smallholders.
What has really impressed me about how the Foundation for a Smoke-Free World has jumped into Malawi is the ambitious but realistic way they are really coming in to engage everyone, bringing them on the table. They have been very inclusive.
The program has been very good. We have learned so many things.
The Foundation for a Smoke-Free World is in and of itself counterintuitive. Our funding source is a renowned tobacco company, yet our mission is to help people to stop smoking and to help remedy the unintended consequences of having a healthier world. So to be given a responsibility, given resources, and a mandate to find solutions within that complex situation is extremely exciting.
It is imperative for businesses to reinvest back in making right the things they have wronged. So I think of PMI in this instance as being a pioneer by showing to the industry that they are willing to make corrections in the market. I think what we will do as a foundation is also show a pathway for how to maintain the independence while knowing that we will always be perceived as not being as independent as we are.
The most touching thing that I got from the meeting was representation will be from the grassroots level.
The hope for the future generation and the students, I'm really thinking that they should have the resources for them to be able to try and fail. Just like we've been able to try and fail and still be able to move on. With lack of capital and resources, you try once, you fail, then you have nowhere to fall back on. We were lucky that God had land here where we could experiment. So like for me, my brother, my other brother, and also my sisters, they all tried whatever they wanted to try.
Naturally, if you have a child who has something to try, I think it's better to give a chance.
This meeting, it can help us to change our mindset and to become business mindset farmers, and it will help us to improve our livelihood. We don't like to receive things for free, but we want to work hard and receive money from our work of our hands.